My wife said she was going to her mom's for the weekend to clear her head. I found out she booked a beachside Airbnb with a man named Jason. When our daughter asked, "Who's Jason?" Mommy was holding his hand. I waited until she came home, then took the kids and left. No warning. No words. When she called crying, I played the recording from the baby monitor. Her voice whispering, "Don't worry, he'll never know." I filed for divorce that Monday. At court, she showed up alone. Jason never came back. He had a family of his own. I'm 42 years old, born and raised in Wilson, North Carolina. Small town life. Nothing fancy about me, work maintenance for the school district. Decent job, good benefits, stable life. I met Sarah when we were in our late 20s. She worked at the DMV. We dated, got married after 2 years. We built a life. Bought a little ranch house on the edge of town. Had 2 kids, Abby and Eli. Life wasn't perfect, but whose is? Sarah used to laugh at my jokes. We used to have lazy Sundays together. We used to be a team. Until we weren't. It started out small. Little things. She stayed out later. Stared at her phone more. Got short with me over dumb things, laundry, the kids leaving toys out, groceries. I thought maybe it was stress. I thought maybe I wasn't doing enough. One Thursday night, she sat me down at the kitchen table. She looked tired, like she hadn't slept in days. "I need to go to Mom's this weekend," she said. "I just need to clear my head." I asked if she was okay. She said she just needed some time. Alone. To think. I offered to come with her, bring the kids, make it a family thing. She forced a smile and said no, it was something she had to do alone. I didn't push. I should have. Friday morning, she packed a small duffel bag, hugged the kids, and kissed me on the cheek like everything was normal. Then she drove off. I spent the weekend cleaning the house, playing with the kids, trying not to overthink it. By Sunday night, she still wasn't home. She texted saying she'd be back late. It was just me and the kids sitting on the living room floor, building a Lego fort, when Abby, my sweet, chatty Abby, said, "Daddy, who's Jason?" I looked up from the Legos. "Jason?" She nodded, hair falling in her face. Mommy was holding his hand at the beach house. He bought her ice cream and they kissed. Mommy said it was a secret. The room spun. I made sure to stay calm in front of her. I laughed it off, tucked them into bed, and told them Mommy would be home soon. Inside, I was breaking. We had a baby monitor still set up in Eli's room. Video and audio. I mostly used it when I was working in the garage or mowing the lawn. Out of instinct, I pulled up the saved recordings from the weekend. Maybe I was crazy. Maybe it was nothing. I scrubbed through hours of silence until I heard it. Sarah's voice. Soft. Whispering. She said, "Don't worry, he'll never know." I listened to it 3 times, just to be sure I wasn't imagining it. She wasn't at her mom's. She was at the beach. With Jason. She wasn't clearing her head. She was getting laid. When she pulled into the driveway late Sunday night, I didn't even move. I watched her from the window. She looked tired but happy. Smiling to herself. She came inside, kissed the kids goodnight, slipped into our bed like she hadn't just burned our life to ashes. I laid awake next to her, staring at the ceiling, feeling the fury boil under my skin. I could have screamed. Could have thrown her out right then. But I didn't. Because I realized something: if I lost my temper, if I made a scene, it would just be messy. For the kids. For me. No. I wasn't going to give her the satisfaction of seeing me break. I was going to end it on my terms. Monday morning before dawn, I packed clothes, diapers, favorite stuffed animals, photo albums, anything that mattered. I carried sleeping Eli to the truck. Woke up Abby and told her we were going on an adventure. I left a note on the kitchen table. You chose him. We're gone. Simple. Final. Then we drove. I moved us into a small 2-bedroom rental about 10 miles out. Not fancy, but clean and safe. I used the little bit of savings I had to pay first and last month's rent. I filed for divorce that same morning. Didn't even wait. Got emergency temporary custody. Explained everything to the lawyer. Showed the baby monitor recording. Logged all the texts and calls. By the time Sarah realized we were gone, she was blowing up my phone. The first few voicemails were angry. How dare you take the kids without telling me? What are you doing? Are you crazy? Then came the crying. I made a mistake. Please, we can fix this. The kids need their mom. Then the begging. Please just talk to me. Please. I didn't respond to a single one. She came to the rental once. Banged on the door for almost an hour. I didn't open it. I just played the baby monitor recording through the speaker. Her own voice, repeating, "Don't worry, he'll never know." She broke down on the doorstep. I watched her through the peephole. I didn't feel pity. Not anymore. Court day came a month later. She showed up alone. No Jason. I found out later from mutual friends, Jason was married too. Had 2 little kids. He dumped her the second his wife found out. Blocked her number. Vanished from her life like she never existed. When we faced the judge, Sarah looked small. Defeated. Like a shell of herself. I asked for full custody. The judge agreed. She didn't even argue. All she did was cry. I thought it would feel better. It didn't. It just felt done. Life didn't settle right away. After the court order, Sarah got limited supervised visits with the kids. 2 Saturdays a month at a neutral center. Abby cried after the first visit. Said mommy kept saying sorry over and over, hugging too tight, smelling like cigarettes. Eli didn't understand. He was too young. He just knew mommy wasn't around anymore. I thought it was over. I thought I could move on. But Sarah wasn't done ruining things. One night, a few months after the divorce was final, I got home from work to find a sheriff's deputy waiting at my door. Sarah had filed for emergency custody. Claimed I was alienating the kids. Said I was turning them against her. I had to show up in court again, this time with a lawyer I could barely afford. She sat across the courtroom with some cheap lawyer and fake tears, saying she was rehabilitated, and that I was poisoning the children's view of her. I kept my mouth shut and let my lawyer handle it. When the judge asked for evidence, she stuttered. Said she just knew. I pulled out a flash drive and handed it over. Recordings. Photos. Messages. Abby's school counselor even wrote a letter saying Abby was showing signs of emotional distress after her visits with her mom, not at home. Sarah's lies fell apart in front of everyone. The judge denied her motion. Threatened to strip her visitation rights if she kept filing false claims. Sarah cried right there at the table, begging the judge not to take her babies. I didn't feel a damn thing. But it didn't stop there. She started showing up at the kids' school. Standing across the street, waving. Crying. The principal called me one afternoon, said Sarah tried to approach Abby during recess. I had to get a restraining order. Imagine that, getting a restraining order against the woman you used to wake up next to for 10 years. Then there was Jason. Turns out, his wife didn't just divorce him, she went scorched earth. Filed for full custody, took half his money, ruined his reputation at his job. I heard he moved to Georgia to start over. He never once tried to reach out to Sarah. Not once. She got dumped, divorced, and left with nothing but regret. She tried dating again, ran into some loser who used her for a few months then left. She even tried calling me once, late at night, drunk, begging for another chance. Said she missed our family. I hung up without a word. Meanwhile, life moved on for me and the kids. Abby joined the soccer team. Eli started preschool. I worked overtime, saved every penny, finally put a down payment on a better house, small but cozy, with a big backyard for them to play in. It wasn't the life I thought I'd have. But it was real. It was ours. Just when I thought Sarah would finally fade out of our lives, she found a new way to cause damage. A few months after she lost in court, I started getting letters from Child Protective Services. Anonymous reports. Accusations. They said I was neglecting the kids. That I was abusive. That I was unstable. Each report forced a home visit. Each time, CPS workers showed up, looked through the house, checked the fridge, interviewed Abby and Eli. And each time, they left shaking their heads, apologizing. They knew the complaints were fake. The kids were healthy. Happy. Safe. But it wore me down. Every knock at the door made my stomach drop. It wasn't just about me, it was scaring Abby. Making Eli cry. I logged every visit. Filed a report with the police. Told my lawyer. Finally, we traced it back. Sarah. She was the anonymous source. I took her back to court again. This time, for harassment. The judge didn't go easy on her. He stripped her of visitation completely. No more supervised Saturdays. No more phone calls. Nothing. She wasn't even allowed within 500 feet of us. Sarah stood there in court, red-faced, shaking, sobbing into her hands. The judge's voice was cold and final. You have violated every trust this court placed in you. Your behavior has been malicious, reckless, and harmful to your own children. He ordered her to undergo psychiatric evaluation before she could even petition for any contact. I thought maybe that would be the end. Maybe now she would get the message. But crazy doesn't quit easy. About 2 months after the restraining order, one night around 2 a.m., my phone buzzed. It was the Ring doorbell. I checked the app. There she was, Sarah. Standing outside my front door in the dark, swaying like she was drunk, her face a mess of tears and smeared makeup. Whispering into the camera, please, please let me see them, just once, please. I called the cops. She was arrested right there on my lawn. The next morning, I had to explain to Abby why Mommy went to jail. I sat her down on the couch, tucked under her favorite blanket, and told her the truth in the simplest way I could. That sometimes grown-ups make bad choices. And when they do, they have to face the consequences. She cried. I cried too. As months rolled by, Sarah's world kept crumbling. I heard she lost her job at the DMV, couldn't pass the drug test. Lost her apartment. Ended up staying with an old high school friend in a broken-down trailer on the edge of town. Nobody wanted anything to do with her. The sweet girl everyone used to know was gone. Now she was just the wreck who threw her whole life away for a man who didn't even want her. Meanwhile, Abby grew stronger. Eli grew taller. And I learned how to breathe again. No more looking over my shoulder. No more jumping at every phone call. We had peace. For the first time in a long time, we were free. Almost a year after the last time Sarah showed up at my door, I got a letter. Not from her. From her lawyer. It said Sarah wanted one final meeting. No court. No fighting. Just a sit-down. She wanted to say goodbye. At first, I ripped the letter in half. I didn't owe her anything. But something ate at me. Abby was asking questions. Eli barely remembered her anymore. Maybe it was better to face it head-on. No running. No hiding. I talked to my lawyer. We set up a meeting, neutral ground, at the lawyer's office, with witnesses. 1 hour. No kids. No promises. The day of the meeting, I almost didn't go. Almost stayed home. But I walked into that cold office, sat down at the long oak table, and waited. Sarah came in looking like a ghost. Skinny. Pale. Clothes hanging off her like she borrowed them from someone else. Her hands shook as she pulled out a piece of paper. She didn't look at me when she spoke. I wrote everything down. Everything I did. I want the kids to know someday, it wasn't their fault. It was mine. I stared at her. Silent. She started to cry. Not loud, messy sobs. Just quiet tears slipping down her face. I ruined everything, she whispered. I lied. I cheated. I broke our family. Jason didn't love me. No one does. I thought you'd chase me. I thought you'd forgive me. I leaned forward, voice low, steady. You thought wrong. Her face crumpled. She slid the letter across the table. Please, just let them know. I loved them. Even when I didn't deserve to. I didn't touch the letter. I stood up. I looked at the broken woman across the table, the woman who threw away her life for a man who abandoned her, who hurt our kids, who lied and lied and lied. And I said the one thing that needed saying, they don't need your love anymore. They have mine. Then I walked out. I never saw her again. A few months later, I heard through town that she moved away, somewhere up north, chasing a rehab program her cousin recommended. She left without saying goodbye to anyone. She vanished. As for me, I raised Abby and Eli by myself. We had birthdays, soccer games, scraped knees, late-night movie marathons. We built a new life out of the ashes she left behind. I didn't date for a long time. Didn't even think about it. Until one day, Abby asked me at breakfast, "Daddy, are you ever gonna be happy again?" That hit me harder than anything Sarah ever did. So I started small. Took better care of myself. Went out with friends again. Started living again. Years later, when Abby turned 16, I gave her that letter. The one Sarah wrote. I told her the truth, that people can love you and still hurt you. That forgiveness is not owed. That some wounds don't heal clean. Abby read it. Folded it up. And said, I hope she's better. But she doesn't get to be my mom anymore. That was the day I knew I won. Not in court. Not with lawyers. I won because my kids saw the truth for themselves. They saw who stayed. Who fought. Who never left. Sarah thought I would be the fool. She thought I would chase her, beg for her, forgive her. Instead, I buried the past. I built something stronger. And I never looked back.